I'm massively concerned about the fact that our civil liberties are curtailed in the name of this net zero agenda.
Absolutely. I mean, what else can you think when you're having areas broken up into zones and you can only go into a different zone, even if it's in the next street? I think it's twice a month you can do it or something in Canterbury and Oxford. It's completely insane. I mean, in the past, we watched these sci-fi movies, didn't we, about areas being broken up into sort of dystopian areas and zones and things like that. And we thought, oh, that could never happen. That would never happen. And then it was in China and we thought that was in China and now it's happening here. I'm very, very concerned. Think about all the different things that people do with their car. You might buy something on Gumtree and go and pick it up. You know, all these different things that you can do. And as you said, that you won't be able to do without having to go around either a massive ring road or getting a fine, or you can't do it at all. And it's happening all over the country.
And it's the poorest who suffer. Meanwhile, the likes of Sadiq Khan roll around in taxpayer-funded cars, all of these big wigs, they're armour-plated vehicles.
I know.
But let's say you're, painter decorator or your plumber or...
He doesn't care about you.
No, your mobile cleaner or something along those lines. People who might be towards the lower end of the economic spectrum, hard-working people who go out and graft for a living every single day, who might not have the money to get a new electric van, they're the ones who are having to pay this money.
Electric vans can only take a very small amount and only got a very short range anyway. I mean, I've got a very good friend of mine, actually, Derek Baker, who owns a company called CFS Filtration, and he says something that his company could do in one day, 300-mile round trip, would take 4 days with the charging and wouldn't be able to take anywhere near the amount of the load. So this is... Make no mistake, this is about the annihilation of commerce, and they want us all sitting at home, and they especially want the poor sitting at home. This is about restriction of movement, and this is about, no cars, no anything. This is about us sitting at home.
And a total reliance on the state, because let's play this out to its
a universal basic income.
A universal basic income, a total reliance on the state. They can just turn the taps off whenever you like.
You have to be a good girl and boy, or you'll have your money turned off.
Absolutely, and it'll make it very easy for them, because any uprising like the one that we saw in Canada, all of a sudden you get your income cut off. Justin Trudeau declares it a national emergency and he gets his special measures and special powers. How long is it, do you think, before we have climate lockdowns in places where, frankly, we just don't need them in the UK?
Well, I think, when it was a little bit hot in the summer, people were talking about closing their doors and stuff like that. But in effect, these zones and these areas that you're not allowed to leave in your car are climate lockdowns in everything but name. And there are a lot of people who aren't registered disabled but who struggle. Or there's a mum who wants to get her kid to nursery or whatever. If you have to go from one road to the next because it's in a different zone, you have to go all around the ring road, you're just not going to go out. You're going to stay at home. And this whole thing about the ULEZ zones being about health and all of that, that's rubbish. I've been looking at some figures. You live longer if you live in London than if you live in the countryside. And the asthma figures, is 20 deaths per million, are the same in London as they are for the rest of the country. And the other thing that I noticed, it shows you they're a bit thick at County Hall. They said that last week they had these figures about how the admissions for asthma for children went up in 2020, 2021 in London. Hang on a minute. We were in lockdown. There were no cars on the road in London. They hadn't thought that one through before they came up with their nonsense modelling, had they?